So tried to make a live stream earlier and it did started to get into it and I had to stop it. So this is the second attempt and I'm in the car at the moment. That's the fan heater you can hear on. And I've got a 5-minute walk to the boat. And so I can handle the cold, because it's going to be maybe half hour. Well, it's going to be a little while before I'm warm again. I'm remaking my own live streams, man. People remake classic movies. My own live streams. On that subject, I realised the other day, new movies, they activate my psychosis, and I don't know how long it's been since I watched a movie. I really have to be selective with the media I consume, because the collective psychosis have taken over the world, and the story of the Battle of Troy. I wanted to watch a movie in research for this project of the battle, and I never liked the latest one with Brad Pitt and I think it was Will Ferrell, not Will Ferrell, Will Farrell, the Irish actor. No, he played Alexander the Great, sorry, so it was just Brad Pitt. And my dad never presented in appearance Achilles, the ultimate warrior. And I always liked the classic movies, you know. I remember as a teenager, I'd sit down on a Sunday and they'd go on for hours, but I'd watch them. They were enjoyable. So I down one. I haven't watched it yet. I should be able to, in theory, I should be able to start watching classic movies. If I want to watch a movie, it shouldn't be too activating at all. That's the theory for my psychosis. We'll see how it plays out. So I've realised I can watch movies again. I just need to find an online site that has chances are it's not going to be quite as expensive as Netflix and the like. So that's a positive. But today's been surreal, man. I mean, well, my life has been surreal. Today has been a real test. I broke yesterday, and this morning really was asking me to break again. The way I got up, the distress I was in. But I knew on an account of the live stream I made last night to right place, that the experience of what I was going through this morning just doesn't cut it anymore to break. So in other words, imagine something distressing in life, and imagine learning your lesson from it. And in that lesson you realise that all that pain, all that trauma, that in honesty that situation really is no longer justifies you yourself to react to the same levels. So in other words, when you experience it again, you do your best to calm the situation within yourself towards it, and just get on with life. That's the aim. And that was the morning. So I woke up and it was like, right, here's the first test. And screaming, I was shouting. I knew within myself the way to get through it was to allow that, not focus on that, and think about getting on with the next thing. So in other words, fight my way through it. Got most of the way fighting my way through it. I got to starting having a wash, cleaning myself. And I heard a knock at the door, and it was the police and ambulance. And there of that occurrence taking place. So I know what to say to them, and I spoke to them, I told them my situation. I was still in a lot of pain with my hips. And pushing me to go to hospital. Circumstance doesn't really make sense to me. And he asked me 4 or 5 times maybe. And on the 5th time I snapped. I said to him, look, I've told you 4 or 5 times, you've kept on asking. I'm coherent. Yes, I'm shouting, that's my mental health disorder. I'm in a lot of pain, that's my life, my everyday life. Why do you keep asking? He's a polite guy, he wasn't being rude, but he was being persistent. Anyway, at that point, I mean, whilst I was there was smoke coming out of the boat because my stove needs patching up and I haven't got around to doing it yet. And they were concerned about that, understandably. And they put a carbon monoxide tester just by the door, and the stove is on the other side of the boat. And at the door, where the door's open, the carbon monoxide alarm started going off. So that wasn't good. And then they did a test, and I had carbon monoxide. So I humbled myself, apologised to him for snapping. And then more people turned up, more ambulances. It was just, there was a whole team of people. I mean, there was about 10 people there. And then they said the fire brigade are going to be coming. I said, look, my knife is just there. Around the window of where the stove is, because what it is, I'd patched it up, I'd sealed it in with foam, and the foam had stuck to the window and I couldn't open it from inside. So I said, look, if I can just do that, you know, I'll open the window and I'm on or with you now. They still wanted the fire brigade to come for whatever reason. I didn't understand it. I was in the ambulance at the time, and they said, look, the police came over when I was having oxygen. They said the fire brigade had to take the door off. So I was thinking, oh, I only stuck it on with strong adhesive. At least it's not a big job. Just clean off the old adhesive and put on some new ones, new adhesive, and it goes back on. It's a pain, but it's not the end of the world. And as I was making the live stream earlier showing this, I'd got home back to the boat and I found, instead of actually broken the window. In addition to that, by the time I got to my room, for whatever reason, they had broken my skylight, the Velux window, the overhead. And I had to end the live stream there. It was like dark, I couldn't find the light. I couldn't put the light on my phone because I was making a live stream. Again. But I'm living my life in accordance with the decisions I've been making lately. And in absolute honesty, today's an absolute killer. In so many ways, if I'm honest and true with life. It's just too much for someone to experience a material world, trying my best to manage and cope, and then on top of all of this, like relentless day in, day out for the longest time, breaking mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, spiritually yesterday. It's just too much to take, but I know this is the right way to behave towards it, or at least this decision I've made as the right way to behave towards my troubles. And that's the title, From Trauma to Healing, because my problem is my physical body, the pain I'm experiencing. And as a result of being placed in that ambulance and being told the situation, I think I was 20 on the carbon monoxide. I need to be 6. Anyway, when I got into the ambulance, I started doing my breathing exercises that my uncle taught me. Quickly came down to 14 and then 10, but apparently I was still going to be on oxygen for a few hours. So they wanted to take me to hospital. But I realised my hips release. And when my hips release, obviously it takes a lot of pressure off my spine, and those are my big problems at the moment. So in the moment, it's too much. But that was almost like a blessing in disguise, a gift within a curse. Because if my breathing, because I've been lost how to deal with my pain, the way regular exercise, but to do regular exercise, I've got to get my life in the right place in the first instant. 1 hour a day or 1 hour every other day to do exercise. And I've been fighting, pushing that way for the longest time, and I've not been able to achieve it. And what I really need, in the middle of Tesco, It's happened so many times. You need, and realizing that breathing exercise could potentially remedy the pain, which is my main problem in life, and it's caused me a lot of this discomfort. And essentially, since I took that last medication in hospital, my breathing has also been the problem. But when you're a headless chicken running around trying to I found no one said to me you have to move. Life said, now is the time to move, Andreas. I've been running around like a headless chicken for like 13 months. I can't get my head above water. And in that ambulance today, doing those breathing exercises, it was almost like, for my life, do these breathing exercises. I realised that they could probably remedy a lot of the problems I have in my life. And that was the reason for the title of this video. From trauma has come the potential for healing. It explains a lot of the problems I've been going through over the past couple of weeks. The carbon monoxide poisoning. And in addition to that, when I got to the boat, as I said, they'd ripped the window out. They'd ripped it out. The window within the frame. But I really, it's actually another healing in disguise, because, well, not quite as much, but getting in and out of the boat wasn't the easiest of things. Not that I found it a problem, but I realised that the way the window has come out, all that's really needed, if it's possible, is to get a couple of hinges and put it back on. But if I do it that way, the window opens out for the rails that it opened on. It would open, but the window would almost be like in the middle of the small section to squeeze myself through. But where it's come off now from the frame, if I put hinges on it and push it to the edge of the frame, I've got the whole section there to get myself in and out of the boat. So it's another little blessing in disguise. But the fact that they had to break the Velux because I had my stove on and no one would be home when I was at hospital, to just let the fire die out by itself. They must have sprayed something on the stove. It was all wet. But I had to pop to the shops before they closed, get some gaffer tape to seal up the window above. And I've had to go into action planning mode in my mind. Right, this has happened. I've got to go to the boat tomorrow, my other boat, to hand over the keys, exchange. So that's a big pressure on me, a big stress, because I've got to go into London. I've got to get on the tube, and it's a hassle. And the best way I can manage my circumstance with that stress that I've got tomorrow is to be prepared. That's the way I've always been with my life. You could say it's got OCD and autistic traits within it. The way I function, and it works. to do it, I need to spend an hour or two tonight to just really get focused on tomorrow. And I had all of this on my plate, you know, a broken window. I should have eaten like earlier in the day. I've still got a meal to cook for tonight. I've got a meal to cook for tomorrow in terms of packed lunch. And sometimes all I can do is wake up in the day, fight my way through to get ready, have a wash, cook my dinner, which I eat in the middle of the day at the moment. And that's it. That's all I can achieve in a day. So at the moment, after getting the gaffer tape, I had to pop to Sainsbury's to get some tuna for the dinner, and I ended up doing a little bit bigger shop. There's lots to do now. I've got to go back, patch up the stove on a temporary fix, seal up the window, cook dinner, pop out again later to get some petrol for the generator to charge my electric skateboard for tomorrow's journey. But I think this is what life has been asking of me for the longest time. And if out of today comes the healing that I need on the terms of firstly physical, secondly mental, tricely, thirdly energetic, and emotionally I'm broken. Emotionally I'm dead. If I experience my true emotions at any time, I'll throw a hissy fit there and then. There's nothing I can do about that, but three are in order. If and when that happens, at least I'll be in a better place to deal with it, arguably. I say arguably because if life is going smoothly and you experience a problem, it becomes more of a, well, there's two ways to look at it, I suppose. So, and if all of those are in check, then spiritually I'm stronger. So I've warmed up enough about taking that walk to the boat and all the little things I have to do when I get back. And the long and short of it is I'm doing all of this for myself in the first instance. In the second instance, but I couldn't do it for myself without the outward that's my daily drive. I know you're going to keep doing what you do to me, collective psychosis, in terms of making my life hard, but I have a lot of anxiety within me. In other words, in 10 years I'll look back at this decision to start lying to myself about my experience of life and regret it, because in 10 years my life might be in the same place. it's the right decision in the present moment. And the work to do in that moment will be to withdraw my energy from feeling like I need to be there for other people, to get myself up and save my own life. I need to get on, so I'm going to end it now. And I'll catch you next time on the next live stream.